Welcome, 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 French. French, am I in your boot? Hey, Ragin, how are you today on this Sunday? I wanted to go through Ryan's Gay Chicago Part 3. He just put it up, so I wanted to go through it. However, before we do that, well, we better do this. Right. Gotta have that in there. Make sure. Crash, it's so good to see you. I'm working on that edit of the live stream with you in it. But I want to show my passion. And this is really my passion. Where is it? There it is.
Grab the lead from Duncan Rudd back in second. Downfield, Final Drop is the two big favorites are second and third. Arrow goes right to Final Drop is outside, but at the one court party. Some steers down toward the inside, racing along in six. They kept smoking it up. It's four more back to American Win. It's the early treader. It's going to go toward that far turn. It's Mama's Lullaby, the leader. Mama's Lullaby, front by 2.5 lengths. Duncan Rudd in that second position. 2.5 more back to Arrow goes. Final Drop is pushed along toward the inside. The kept support party was fifth. Up on the far outside. 2.5 more, then back to Son of a Smooth. American Wind is trying to get underway from the back. He's up to now in seventh. Dropping out last, smoking it up. Duncan Rudd is the leader now. Duncan Rudd takes over at the top of the stretch. Arrow goes to fresh challenge on the outside. Court Party trying to get going down along the inside. Got Mama's Lullaby. Final Drama still 4 lengths behind Duncan Rudd. Duncan Rudd by the 8 pole. The lead a length and a half. Arrow goes on the outside. It's a clear second. 3 or 4 more back to a lineup of 3. But inside the final 16, Sonny Leone and Duncan Rudd getting away. Duncan Rudd going to win here by 3 in the end. Second Arrow goes. Looked like Final Drop was close there with Sonny Sleep. After that, he was smoking it up.
Well, can you tell which horse I bet on? Actually, I don't call it betting, I call it investing. Yeah. Tracy, you're on your way to work. Ooh. Hey, Daves, how are you? That race took 1 minute and 11 seconds, and I won $100. No, actually, I won $105. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's my passion, horse racing. And I love it. Been doing it since 13 years old. Cynthia, did you miss the race? That's what I love to do. I can't help myself. My grandmother introduced me to horse racing, and then my mother. So they're to blame. But $100 in 1 minute and 11 seconds. That's not too bad. Not too shabby. Okay. So let's go to part 3 of Ryan's Gay Chicago. Please subscribe to him. He does a fabulous job all over the Southland. It's just not Dalton. It's not just the township. It's all the communities. 17 municipalities in the township. So, you know, you gotta consider that, right? All right. So I'm not gonna interrupt it too much. Okay, but let's go. And they're gonna talk about SA in here. So I'll put a warning out for that. But I'm wondering why this woman wasn't protected for SA. Hey, Brandon, it's great to see you. All right, here we go.
Because he won state rep and he won mayor, so the people must want him. So I'm gonna be quiet. Doesn't mean that what he's doing is okay. Shame on the entire system. Shame on law enforcement. Shame on all elected officials. Shame on the entire state.
Welcome to the third and final portion of the interview with Nyota and Monet from Calumet City, as they explain their challenges and tell us what they want to change in this election.
And some of this is political because that's partly why I started the Chicago Southland Politics Facebook group, in that I found that in some of the other, like Dalton Politics and the other groups, when I or other people would criticize, I'll just pick on Napoleon Harris as an example, even a very small critique of him
would disappear.
Well, yeah, so the comment will either be deleted and or the person will be blocked totally from the group. It was almost like, that's why I said I think maybe someone might be, or people might be behind this. It was almost like the whole goal is to generate as much rage and hatred of Tiffany as possible to get her out. Which,
Gee, are they talking about Dalton Politics? Facebook page? Kind of sounds like it.
again, I'm like, yes, get her out. I'm not supporting what she does. But at the same time, certain people, especially like Napoleon Harris, I've seen it with Thaddeus as well, it's just like it's so clearly being censored. Any critiques, even if they're just small critiques. But then if someone wants to go on a long tirade, and this half the stuff might not even be true, the accusations against Tiffany Henyard, it's just allowed. And that's why I said I have to start a new group, because my problem was some of these groups are being proposed as neutral community forums, but they're not. They're clearly there's some agenda going on. I don't know if it's necessarily Napoleon Harris behind it or others, but you can tell it's not real. Certain people you criticize, and others you cannot criticize.
Well, I know Mayor Jones specifically calls people when it is, and we do have a problem with that because our mayor has ended up in the news several times, and they never show up in those groups. And so therefore I don't participate in them. I do not comment in them. I do not go to them. I'm not a part of them, because when you do not post, if you posting that about her hair or wig or family or kids or husband, and then you cannot post that there was a Tribune article or Sun-Times article saying that he locked us out for rats and roaches to not have a meeting because they were trying to, dismiss a legal case, and you're not going to even post that. No one has talked about it. That's not what it is. We've been called to the news. No one has even, people didn't even know there was a sexual harassment lawsuit. You understand? I still try to talk about it appropriately by telling people to go read it. One, because I'm not trying to sensationalize anything. And it means I don't want to start crying. I don't want it to be an issue like that. Go read on your own and you will see what it is that it says, and you're able to take that information in itself, right?
Do you feel like you've been ignored as far as
absolutely? I think that is where the legal system have failed, because you have not even asked me a question. You have failed to ask me if it even, you completely discounted me as a victim. And then what makes you discount me as victim? My integrity and reputation was actually better than his. So I was a law enforcement officer. You can't go back and find anything. All of a sudden, I become a villain, a thief, a whore, and everything else under Thaddeus Jones' administration. That's what happened to me, literally. I became all this stuff under him, and because he said so, and that's true. I do believe that women need to be careful in allowing men to do that to other women. I feel like it was done to our VP, whether you don't like her policy or not, or whether you thought she would be a good president or not. The memes, the things that were said about her, the things that were said about her previous relationships. Oh, she was sleeping with a married man. Did you talk about the married man that she was sleeping with? Because he was married.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh. Kind of sounds like the same people, right? Is this Dalton they're talking about? Or is it Calumet City? It's the same thing. It's the same people. You vicious little vile people that get online and just attack anybody with a different opinion. or has something to say other than what you want them to say. You're just vicious, vile people. 2 days to the election in Dalton. What are you going to do? What if Tiffany wins? Holy shish kebab. What are you going to do? Oh. What if you get a mixed board and Jason gets in? You think that Clean House 2025 is just going to be the slate? There are other people running in this race. But your vile, sadistic cyberbullying to anyone who has a different opinion or has a brain that knows how to use it and cannot be swayed one way or the other. You're the villain. You're horrible. You're doxxed. Your whole life is put out there. For what? For what? How many of you people getting paid? How many of you people have been offered jobs? I can't wait to see that. If Jason House gets in, I cannot wait to see how many of you. And on the township, Thornton Township board as well. And BP Stubbs, I hope you get in. I really do. Because you'll be an elected official. And I have some things to say about you. And Mary Avant as well. You're all swinging this twisted tail with no proof at all. It is just hate Tiffany. And if you don't hate Tiffany and you don't have thumbnails with blood and fangs and fire coming out of the eyes. Ed Steve, I heard an interview of you today. My goodness, what an angry little man you are. What an angry, angry little man you are. And I'm going to make a video just for you. Because I believe somebody said they don't want no bobbleheads in there. And I'm going to make that special for you. But let's continue on because, you know, SA is involved and bullying is involved. And this is Calumet City. Sounds like Dalton to me. Okay, sorry. That's it.
The memes that was going around her about her, and you know, things on her face, it was just awful. And then you have a current president that have, and even though we know these things, it's not sensationalized the same way. It ain't that many memes out there like that because he's
like
a man.
our current president for Valentine's Day on the White House website did a Valentine's Day. What roses are red, violets are blue. If you're illegal, we coming for you. Who does that?
Right.
Yeah.
It just gets like overlooked.
It gets
almost,
overlooked.
You know?
And we have those things happening here in our city. I coined a phrase called mental rape because that's what it is. I am a physical rape survivor. I was raped in college. And Jones's fictitious site made fun of me saying what he is doing to us mentally as rape, and then made fun of it and said that I am harming real rape victims. Well, I am a real rape victim. I know what it is to be held down and violated physically. And now it's happening mentally here in Calumet City, and nobody is stopping it.
And then I think I complained. It was at one time the council received several emails. They received so many emails. But one of the things that I would say is that the slick stuff that happened. So I remember, prior to me filing the sexual harassment lawsuit, the city did not have a sexual harassment ordinance. It had never been put in place.
That's
It did not
surprising.
have for elected officials. It didn't have one for elected officials. And so after
Sorry,
I
French.
filed my sexual harassment lawsuit, there was a sexual harassment ordinance put in place. And it was a slap in the face because what the sexual harassment ordinance said was that you was supposed to report the sexual harassment to the alderman that sits over the ordinance and resolution committee, right? Which is an alderman who don't support me, who said that my claims already have been frivolous. And so anyway, that passed, and I thought that was awful because what it should do is go to an outside place,
Right, like a neutral party.
a neutral party.
You know, someone who could actually
Right.
investigate.
What they do not know, and what there was certain things that I just would not let him know that bothered me. Well, after so resolutions are on regular 8.5 by 11 paper. I sent it to him. He signs, I sign, I make it the law, I put it through the process. This particular law came down in the, what are those big 13 by 14?
Like funeral resolution.
Right. And he sent 24 copies signed by someone in that was an employee that he had caused problems, like he sent her to attack, and he sent 24 of the sexual harassment ordinances to me to sign, in presented like it was an ordinance, a resolution that you receive when a family member passed or some honorary. He sent them to me, basically saying, ha ha ha. What a lot of people don't know, and what's in my lawsuit, is that I called the Illinois, the human resource, the sexual harassment, the same one that they reported Tiffany to. I believe the human rights. I believe that the reason why it was reported there after that issue happened in Dalton is because I had called. I called twice. When I called, and my call, I've never heard anything from that call. That call was erased when I called back. And I know for sure that several individuals that I have reported, all of those complaints disappeared. So when I reported him, and maybe 2 or 3 weeks went by, I didn't hear anything, and I called back, and I'm like, hey, where's this? Now the line is recorded. Well, where's my call? And that's when I started to live in fear. That's when I was like, oh, I can't even call an elected official, intelligent, educated, somebody that can articulate what happened, cannot. What are you going to do to somebody else? What would you do to someone else?
Yeah, like burgundy blue commentary. Burgundy bitch. Choose compassion. She's on welfare. What are you gonna do when you go to your elected official and tell them, as a resident, and nothing's done, and you get a 48-hour notice, right? What are you gonna do? What about these two women? They're being attacked because of Dalton. Thaddeus Jones. What are you doing? These two women, same problems. Oh, you go with Fania Dukes, and no shade to Fania Dukes. These two women have the same problem. Where are you? Where's your community? No, you get online and attack them. They just said it. Because they have a different opinion. Because they have a brain. They have a mind. An opinion. You vile, disgusting people. That's all you are. You live in hatred. So let's say Jason wins. What are you going to do then? Who are you going to attack then? Is it still going to be that burgundy bitch? The soulless bitch? Because I just can't wait until all of you get elected, so I can just release it all. Right, Ed? Right, Mary? BP Stubbs? I'm not calling you Stubbs. I'm calling you BP Stubbs. Because you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yippies. But hey, these women are being attacked. And nobody gives a shit. Aren't you sweet? Isn't your community sweet? Fighting for the residents of Dalton. Yeah. For the positions you've been offered. I know what they are, and I know who you are. From the bottom to the top. But that's okay. 2 more days. 2 more days.
Like, so is this what we do? And so when she says mental rape, I agree, because I believe that that's what you're doing over and over again when you send those things to me, when you send those messages, when the cop car is outside my house, when you challenge me and say I don't live where I live, but you subpoena me at my house. When you subpoena my landlord for records, and my landlord is being charged now. Just so much stuff is happening, and it's an attack, and it's sending subliminal messages all the time, and
Yeah.
so people will ostracize themselves from you, and it will cause issues for you, and it'd be hard for you to live or for you to be places just because you're not his friend.
And
Yeah, kind of like in a grocery store. Oh, there's that burgundy bitch. Berg. I'm sorry, I didn't look at the chat. Shanna, how are you today? Thank you very, very much, Crush. I know who's been offered the jobs. Are you going to get the jobs? What if Jason gets in and then you have a mix of trustees? Oh my, that could create quite a thing. What if Tiffany gets in and you have a mix of trustees? Oh my, what a mess. And who are you going to go after then with your vile little YouTube pages? Who are you going to go after then? Now, I showed how I make my money at the beginning of this video, and I'll show it at the end. Because this channel has never been about making money. Ever. It's always about the residents. And now it's going to be about the Southlands. And, of course, Chicago. Fritzer. Yep. Yeah. Sunday. I can't say it. Vile comments. Everything. Vile. Can't give an opinion. Attacked. These 2 women are attacked. Who gives a shit, right? Right.
the other side of that coin is the women that help him in the madness don't realize how they're used to attack other people. Like there's a resident on Campbell here in Calumet City who signed a complaint form challenging one of the aldermen's residency, not realizing that opened the door where they followed this man's family. The daughter is in dance class. The wife is going back and forth to church. The son is playing football. You don't understand what your signature, that is public record. Anybody can pull the challenges of an official. What your signature does for what? What do you have to gain from Jones in doing that? when state representatives come and run the library and there are no books for our children or computers for our children, and you are an entire state official somewhere out in Gurnee or something, not even from Calumet City, but you're playing this political game that harms our community and our children.
Sorry, I was on mute. Look at what Shannon says. And you know, Shannon, we're going to find out who owns that fake page that stalks you. Are you people proud of yourselves? Are you really proud of yourselves? Get in at any cost. Going to YouTubers. Oh, I've got that video too. I've showed it. You people don't want the truth. You don't want the truth to get out. And I hope you all get elected. I really, 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 really do. This page has never been about money. It's been about community, residents. And this is how you attack people. And Fania Dukes. What is this? Are you a victim? It's a question. Because I have questions why that police officer did not phone the police as he was filming an essay. He could have saved you from that. Where's the accountability with him? He's a police officer. It doesn't matter where you are, when you are. When you're a police officer, it is 24/7, no matter where you are. Where was the police officer as he was FaceTiming it? We heard some kind of video or some kind of audio. Where's the accountability for that police officer? I want to know who that police officer was. And I'm going to find out because it pisses me off. He could have saved you, Fania. He could have saved you. And what did he do? Recorded you? And that's okay? He gets a pass? He gets a pass. He could have prevented it. And I will not forget that. And you shouldn't either. Because he is a cop. But we'll get on to other cops another time. You people are vile and disgusting. And now I don't feel sorry for you, Fania. I don't. With this ratchety bullshit.
You get to the state rep prior to
Sorry.
was working in the building department when Thaddeus decided to have a press release about me, and he just said that
no, you're
there was
fine,
there was not
Shanna.
even an audit
You're
done at the
fine.
time. And it was just like, no, she did wrong, she did this and she did that. And it's like, how do you know? You're not even an official of the city. You are working as a contractor.
What's he gonna sue for? What's he gonna sue for? A demotion? Is he still working? He's liable. And I'll say it right here. He is liable. He could have prevented it. If he watched it, recorded it as it was happening. You are a police officer on duty 24/7. I don't care if you're in the Antarctica. I don't care if you're in Turkey. Well, maybe not Turkey. You're a police officer. It doesn't matter where you are. You could have prevented it. Sue my ass. You ought to be in jail. And if Holmes had have been arrested and put to trial, your ass should have been sitting right next to us. That's what a police officer is. Not filming an SA as it's happening. Piece of shit, garbage. I hope you get what you deserve.
And as your state rep, who's
Sorry.
working as a contractor in the building department, and you're on Facebook telling constituents that I have committed a crime. I never saw you saying that Madigan committed a crime and he just got
And
guilty.
and that
You know
is
what
your
I'm saying?
colleague.
So how do you get to come to Calumet City, say that, and we haven't even, because I could have, but you just don't know that. I know that you don't know that for sure because no one has done anything, right? And so for you to be able to do that and be okay, you shouldn't be able to do that in your capacity. You shouldn't be able to say that something happened and was wrong. So I appreciate people such as yourself that's willing, who stand up regardless and say what it is they're going to say and come to meetings and speak at city council meetings that conduct this type of interview and put those interviews up and shine the light on that, because maybe one day we'll be watching this and we'll see, oh man, that happened because now he's in federal prison or federal court or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then we'll say, oh, hey, they was telling the truth the whole time and not just Tiffany supporters. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is what happened. Or it might be used in a simple case where someone is hurt, because if it does not stop,
somebody's going
to get hurt. And so we have to stop, and we have to start thinking about people, and we can still do what's right and hold people accountable without all the malicious, the lies, and doing things that can put them in physical harm. And to think that, oh, wouldn't nobody hurt them? Oh, no one will. No, people, this is what happens every day.
Every day.
You saw that with the brawl at Thornton Township recently.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You know, where people had complained for so long and said something's going to happen, no response. Would you like to say something specifically to county and state authorities, like, you know, the governor or Tony Preckwinkle, head of the county board or something, as far as what explaining all this harassment and this nightmare that you've been going through for years? What do you have to say to them? Because again, you've gotten no response for years.
Yeah.
They are your and my elected officials, and they seem to just, not only to you but to others, they don't respond. But what, you know, on this video, what would you say to them? Would you ask them something? What would you say?
Shame on them for allowing this type of behavior, for lack of intervention, for covering up, for being quiet, for not sticking up, for not calling, for not even checking up on. If I've known you for 15 years and you've known me to be a person of integrity, and you didn't even say, hey, what's going on out there? Shame on all of you all for allowing this man to be able to call you. I remember during COVID, we were cleaning, and my office didn't get cleaned for COVID. And I was like, hey, you guys got to come in here and clean the office for COVID. I called Cook County and did a complaint for the office not being cleaned correctly, because that was the appropriate way. That disappeared. No one ever called me back, no email, nothing. And so what I am smart enough to know that you guys are covering. And so, and I'm sorry. And where does it disappear to? Half of our emails have been disabled.
Mm-hmm.
We have gone without emails. My emails have been deleted. I don't get, my mail has been circumvented as the.
Well, hot diggity dog. Keith Freeman, Nikita Cloud, excuse me, accused you of doing the same thing. But now you're Lover Boy, right? And where is Carl? What happened to Carl? Not a peep. What'd y'all do to Carl? Because he has a voice? I have a voice. I don't care who likes it or doesn't like it. If Andrew Holmes had been charged, that officer should have been right next to him. And you know it, Mary, because you used to be on the job. But where were you? I'm sorry, do I sound a little angry? I don't mean to be. I'm just telling the facts because nobody wants the truth. They're afraid of the truth. You've been offered jobs. You call up YouTubers. You paid a YouTuber. It's on tape. Yeah, well, probably, but if you're a police officer, you don't get bullied. I arrested a police officer. I did. And that's a fact. Calumet City, how are you? Oh, can you email me? I'll put it in the chat. Because I'm going to be covering the south suburbs. Let me type it in here. Well, let me start playing so I don't take up time. Yeah. Oh, you met Carl. I'm sorry, Cynthia. Yeah, he probably was bullied. I'm sorry. I was talking about the cop and I read your... I'm so sorry. How'd you like Critical's video? In Flint City, please, give me an email too. Did I do that right? I don't think so. All this bullying, all this name calling. If you're not with the Glee Club, and yes, BP Stubbs walking up to Moore. Not that I can't stand Moore. You're walking up to him all big and tough. Right for the cameras, right? Please. You go to church? Really? Don't act like it.
City clerk, it still says city clerk. Why are you stealing my mail? Why are you my personal packages recently was stolen? That was a $600 package. I have called and I have tried to that's not okay just because you do not like me. And so this man is out of control because they don't do anything, because they don't say anything. And he continues to perform. And what happens if he wins again? Then how would that boost his ego? Mm-hmm. And then are you going to continue to not say nothing and say, oh, because he won state rep and he won mayor, so the people must want him, so I'm gonna be quiet? Doesn't mean that what he's doing is okay. Shame on the entire system. Shame on law enforcement. Shame on all elected officials. Shame on the whole entire state.
I would just ask, bring it on in. Stop turning a blind eye. We're suffering here in Calumet City, and a lot of it is at the hands of state officials. And everybody, I'll go somewhere and an official pull me to say, I don't agree with what's happening. I just don't. But you don't say anything. You don't do anything. And you have the authority and opportunity to do it, and you don't. Calumet City is very different from our neighbors. We don't have people who will publicly speak up and become outraged to turn that cycle or the cylinder of outrage on a higher level. I sort of am that for my ward, but I don't know too many in the ward who will speak up and challenge, like how you have the Sherry Brittons of Dalton, or those folks that get things going and moving.
Why do you think that is, Eric?
Yeah, they get things going and moving, right? Yeah, they sure do. They most certainly do. They get things moving with their vile hatred. Sherry, what kind of job are you going to have again? Oh, okay. I'll wait a couple days. Okay.
Because I
They're
think people are afraid they're
scared.
attacked.
They're
Some people
scared.
don't have time. The people do feel that way. They don't have time or know how to do it. I just had a meeting with a bunch of residents, and they told me, well, we typically don't see everybody until 4 years, and then they come and say, then we see you. And I was like, well, you have a city council meeting every second and fourth Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. So don't expect something to happen and for us to run to you every second and fourth Thursday to tell you that. What you cannot do is give me money and I go I go buy a bunch of stuff at a store and you never check your receipt, and then you want to blame me 4 years later. What you need to do is read your receipts, and your agenda and your minutes are your receipts, and you have a right to come in, and he wouldn't be doing it if you all didn't allow it. I believe actually if the residents came out and said stop messing with our clerk, and 50 to 100 of them came in there and said that, then he would stop. Now
if we could only get the meetings in the agenda for Dalton, right? Clerk Key, the unstoppable, incomparable Clerk Key, right?
I do think that he creates an illusion. I think he tells, oh, I'm just trying to be the mayor. They just don't like me. Oh, that she was a part of Mayor Michelle regime and this and that, and she can't do this. And, I've knocked on doors and some people say, well, give him a chance. Give him a chance to do what? Look what he's done to me. I've done
and hitting me on the head.
I don't have the power.
Right.
And this is the thing. I don't have the power to do anything to Mayor Jones. So I don't have any authority to do anything to anybody. In addition to that, he has not proven one thing that I have done wrong. And everything that he say is always how he wants to twist it. So what is our problem now?
Because actually, he accused you of stealing money from the clerk's office. And our finance director said the last time money was missing from the clerk's office was in 1980. Well, we were about 3, 4, or 5 years
don't
old.
Tell my age.
Well, we was about 3, 4, or 5 years old. So it doesn't make sense. But we have to have community engagement and involvement. When I was speaking to residents today, I'm having a meeting on Wednesday. It's our second ward town hall. And a guy said, so y'all just have meetings when it's around election time. I said, I'm glad you said that. I am proud to say that in 4 years, Wednesday will be my 65th meeting. My 65th meeting. That does not include every second and fourth Thursday regular council meeting, but my council meetings. You all mean that much to me that I take that much time from my family to meet with you, to find out what your needs are. In 4 years, 65 meetings, I was proud of myself to say that. But we don't always get the verbal and physical support. And I understand people are afraid because if they're hitting you over the head and you're an elected official, what will happen to me?
And what could you say? I'm hoping you share the video. I hope the Calumet City folks watch it. And I say publicly, I welcome anyone can come on if the mayor wants to talk or any of his allies, if they can share their story. I think the main reason I wanted to talk to you ladies is because it seems through the taxpayer funded texts and the mailers and everything, it seems that the mayor gets his side out a lot. It doesn't seem like that was what was lacking. I wanted to hear more from you because I feel like your stories have not been as prominent. But what would you say to your residents? What do you hope for them to do? And what could you say to them, assuming that they are afraid but they want to help and they want to see. They don't want to see bad things happen to you or to their city. But what would you tell them?
Vote him out on February 25th, and then you don't have to be afraid anymore.
Walk, run, skate, canoe in this leftover water that's gonna be out there when the snow melts. Skip, bounce, rollerblade, but vote him out. Our voice matters. Our voice is everything. Silence is indeed toxic, and we've sat in silence too long.
And it's acceptance. It's acceptance, and that's why I appreciate what it is that you do. So thank you for the interview.
Yes, thank you very much, Ryan. Calumet City, is your election for mayor this month on the 25th as well? Let me know. Let's go on a campaign for 2 days. Oh, Quackenbush. Oh, jeez. Huh, what a train wreck. Don't vote for Jones for Calumet City Mayor. Don't do it. I'll try to put something up tomorrow about it. Calumet City. It might be a little bit late. I see people are just getting out of this live stream because they can't handle the truth. Poor babies. I want to I can't wait until the 25th. Much like the residents. Nobody except everybody that's making money off of it. Everybody that's making money off doesn't want it to go away. Calumet City is in big, big trouble. But they get ignored. Harvey gets ignored. No, we got to pick on Dalton. Why? Because Tiffany is the supervisor and you want the bag. Because that's where all the money is, in the township, right? And Carmen, dear, dear Carmen, I feel bad for you, girl.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Really, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I think we covered just about everything. Did we forget? Did we forget?
I know one question, but I don't want to remind him. Hi, Miss Jean.
Go ahead.
You were asking us about the township. Who are we supporting? That was on your in the election. You don't. It wasn't that. Okay.
I don't think I did. I was going to say you can speak to it.
Okay, so we won't. You can cut that out. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have to cover that. I've already been very clear why I'm not supporting Napoleon Harris. Obviously, Chris Clark dropped out because we exposed, for several reasons, but one thing is we exposed that neither Napoleon nor Chris live in the township.
Okay.
Reside.
Is that why he dropped out? I didn't know why he dropped
out.
He didn't say officially. You know, I mean, he did issue a letter. Chris Clark did, but it was just very generic, like. I've decided Harvey needs my attention. And of course, then we're like, well, then why did you even announce that you're running for township in the first place? Because the city looks like it's falling apart. We've known that.
No, that's because another meeting had behind. They got together and they
had
a meeting and they said,
and they said no, yeah,
that's it.
Right.
Because if he was going to make the ballot, then Tiffany can make the ballot, right?
Well, so I went to the objection hearings and
I'm sorry, Ryan. Napoleon's not running for township supervisor. If anybody believes that, I have a swamp. I'll sell it to you for $1 million.
One, I was so hoping this one lady that was subpoenaed, she is the next door neighbor, and it's a townhouse in Harvey where Napoleon lives. He lives in Flossmore, which again is outside of Thornton Township.
Yeah.
I can't say that.
And outside of the.
Well, you know what? It used to be outside of his Senate district.
They
he
drew
has
it
been
in.
a do-nothing senator, at least for residents of Harvey, ever since 2013. He's been our state senator. And then his district or his home in Flossmoor was outside of his
I'm gonna
district.
get my phone. You're good.
And so I don't know how
Hmm.
that again how these things are legally allowed. Now in 2023, it must help when you are a friend of the establishment because they changed his district boundaries, and lo and behold, magically a little rectangle popped out in the southwest area to cover his subdivision in Flossmoor where he lives. So now he does reside in his U.S. Senate district, but I'm sorry, his Illinois Senate district, but he's still outside the county. And I don't understand. Reporters have covered this. So the lady was actually going to come to the objection hearing, and I'm so disappointed she didn't. She got subpoenaed, but she didn't show up. And she like shares the wall with the townhome, to say no one's there. And it's just crazy how these people flaunt the law publicly. And then, like I said, Chris lives in Chicago, our mayor. So neither of them live in the township. So it's him. The Napoleon so far is on the ballot. Tiffany, I believe she filed to be a write-in, but I don't know if she made it. And then there's a Republican candidate, Richard Nolan, and then Nate Fields. So far, I'm saying I'm probably going to go for Nate Fields because he is young, but I appreciate the fact that he's more independent than anyone else.
No, Nate Field is not independent. They want Nate Fields in there. And, for everybody in the background, I'm going to make this private as soon as this live is over, so you better get to recording. Nate Fields is the guy. He's the guy they want in there. Why? Because he's jittery. He's young. He can be controlled. I'm sorry, Ryan, but Nate's gonna get in. That's why they had the fake poll.
I'd rather I've reached out to the Republican and he just hasn't responded.
So why do you think people want to govern areas that they don't even feel living in is necessary?
It blows
Like
my
if you
mind.
can't be my neighbor, why do you want to govern where?
Because I don't believe they believe in the people or the area. They just want to govern it. I believe it's a power
Just
and
power.
control thing.
And land and money.
I'm too
land and money.
yes, and I'm too important to live here, but I can govern here.
Right. It's like a king living in a faraway castle.
Yes.
Like I'll govern you, but I'm not going to come
Yeah.
But I'm
down
not
as
gonna I'm not gonna
That's
live
what I was
with
going
you.
to ask if you guys have seen proof or you know of anything because we've definitely we don't have the details, but we're trying to uncover the details. We haven't really seen the city books for this is about the 6th year. Like we'll get little snippets here and there, but whether it's via FOIA or however, like the mayor is just it's horrible that he's allowed to hide where we can't even see where they're spending the money. But we know that it's about land and money. So he's definitely on a big land grab. The city owns probably at least 450 parcels that we know of, probably more, which is a lot for a small city.
For a
it's only
small,
like 6
yeah.
square miles or something. We don't know exactly what he's doing with it. We would like to find out. But I mean, have you encountered that in Cal City where there's is the mayor trying to grab as much land as he can? Is he distributing it? Selling city properties to connected people. What did you see?
Different organizations, different. I mean, like I said, she signed an affidavit that said that he was going to give her something if she would have. You know what I'm saying? So imagine what has happened to those that support him. Imagine, what organizations they are part of that probably received a house or will receive the home.
Yeah, he also apparently, according to these women, offered Tiffany some property or something like that. Something about a business. Tiffany said no. Oh my. Say it isn't so.
Imagine all of that. There are businesses that we don't understand why they get Class 8s, how they're still in business, why they have multiple locations, why they have multiple contracts, why they're paid 3 times for one event and then the event is canceled. I mean, we have all of that's going on.
I have houses in my ward that have had squatters, have had fires, and now there are people living there. But when you're active in a ward, when work has been done, and when you have very engaged neighbors, when you have construction companies coming in or anybody that pull in permits. So no work has been done, but you are allowing people to live there. So yeah, it's happening. We have employees that have shown up on as registered voters in certain wards that face challengers. So yeah, absentee ballots is how most people will steal an election.
That's interesting you say that. Have you had what we've experienced in Harvey where the mayor or any of his allies had actually tried to push people from their homes to take them, or no? That's something you've encountered?
I don't
Or pressure either local businesses or residents
local
to sell,
business, yes,
or,
local
you know,
business.
try to
local
take their
businesses.
property?
It comes from, definitely. I think we have a few lawsuits.
We have
as
a
it
few
relates to that.
lawsuits on that, so we can't even speak on it. But yeah, local businesses.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's something we
I wouldn't know about homes, but you know, like I said,
We just
everything
definitely know local
hushed.
businesses.
And do you guys have access to your full city books? Like I said, we do not.
No.
We're trying. We've tried so many different things. We're not giving up, but so you're not able to see them either.
No, we don't know any. I'm not even able to use my budget. So
Yeah, no, I have line items with money in it. I cannot.
Sorry, Douglas.
the
Treasurer Tarker.
But he will not share with anyone except the mayor and his allies. Is that what it is?
No, he will not share. And I think that when he's forced to share, he provides an explanation of trying to make a comparison between something else. He just makes up an excuse for him. So, not that everything is explainable, but I think he's uncomfortable too. That's my personal opinion. He's very uncomfortable in his seat also. So,
so who really knows where the money's going? That's my question.
The one who's spending it.
And that would be Mayor Jones. So, do you expect that you would ever see where the money's going while he's in office? Or
not while he's in office.
Not while he's in
office.
That's crazy. That is, I don't understand how politicians and how the state and the county and the feds will allow politicians to hide where public money is going. It's all public money. I don't understand that.
I just ask that residents do their research. Don't fall in the trap of being fed sensational items. When I post things, I have vetted it from Chicago Tribune. I have gone to court dockets. I looked for all of the information. The attention span of a human is less than a bumblebee. A bumblebee is 9 seconds. A human is 8 seconds. So we see a flash of something and it becomes fact instead of stopping to research. Her meeting minutes are on our city website. You can go back for years.
Well, that's good at least.
Good.
And see things that are happening. So you know that certain infrastructure are legacy projects that happened previous administration. But this administration is taking credit for it. But if you looked at the meeting minutes, you would know that this happened 2018, 2019, not 2021.
Nobody French.
Do you get packets ahead of time and then for yourself and the public, and then also after showing resolutions, ordinances, some sort of bills lists? Do you get all that information before the meeting, and then is it also shared with the public?
We get a draft of the agenda 5 to 6 days before, usually with 2 days to make any corrections or additions. But we may not get the supplemental packet
pretty much
until days before. And sometimes people need to understand the supplemental packet may be 200 pages.
Yeah, I think what the council don't understand with me being a clerk is that what they will necessarily pass on the floor is not necessarily what I receive. So in Mayor Jones' ability to take all of my duties and to disregard me as an elected official, to not allow me to speak, to not give me supplemental package, which means is that whatever ordinance or resolution.
Oh, that's wonderful, Calumet City. I'm going to look at it. Hey, Chris, I'm going to look it up and put it in the chat, the link to your YouTube.
resolution they receive and they vote on don't mean that's what they're going to send me to prepare. So yeah,
But
because
shouldn't
it's
it
a
be the
difference.
same?
Yeah,
'Cause
but
I-
it
see,
has
my
not
question
Should
is,
been.
do
be.
you know
It
ahead
should
of
be.
time what
You
you're
do not
voting on?
know, because the way it should be prepared is it should be drafted on documents. There should be a watermark in documents that are not until it's time and then they're taken out. They should be taken out by a neutral party, not somebody that can possibly change it, because the clerk is neutral. Remember, the clerk doesn't vote on this or
Right.
that. So that's an administrative portion of it, and you don't want to do that. So if he's sending me whatever, I don't know, because I didn't see it before, because they're not giving it to me. So the title is the same, but I don't know what they voted on. I don't know what's in her packet. I didn't prepare it. I didn't.
Yeah, Chris, and then what? Then what? Well, we all know how she is. But when Jason gets in, what if there's a mixed board and Jason is mayor? Good to have you. Yeah. There is a lot going on in Calumet. I could not find your website, Calumet City. Could you email me? Let me put it in the chat again. And I'll put it up before this live ends so everybody can go to your website. I'm really excited about it. I hope I spelled it right. Yeah, Jason gets in. Yay, Tiffany's gone. Then what? What's the plan? Has anybody heard of Jason's plan? Why don't they have a budget? They don't have a budget. Where's all the financial reports? Where's all the meeting minutes? Where's all the agendas on that wonderful transparency website? Is that going to come up after Jason wins in 2 days? Or are the women going to talk for Jason? I'm going to put it out there. People don't want the truth. They just want to run with a story and don't do any research. God only what's brewing in that mind. Oh, who knows? She's not a leader. Everybody knows that. She shouldn't be mayor. She shouldn't be supervisor. Right? Ah. The worm turns.
Look at it. We didn't receive it again the same. I'm not on the
Please
same
email me.
I'm not allowed to go through it. I am completely disregarded in my position because I don't need it. So my thing is, and so it came for a long time that I tried to educate them on that and fight it, and then it just became a point. I can't do that. But he stole my signature anyway, so it's not like he wouldn't
Wow.
apply it anyway. Yes, he
And
stole
then
my
my question
signature.
is, how do you know? Because it could be an ordinance about a dog collar fee, and then at the bottom they could add something in about
That's exactly
giving
what I'm
away this
saying.
property.
That,
Like,
that,
how do
Yeah,
you know?
so
that's
so
exactly what I'm
that
saying.
actually happened. That's how we found out about the cars. It was labeled as something else, and we are always approving purchases for our first responders. So this, we didn't think anything about a car under the same entity
Yeah,
until they called and said they weren't paid. And so, well, give us the contract. Show us what you weren't paid. And when it came, and it was for a 2023 Denali.
Okay, that was the main.
And a Cadillac truck.
Oh.
We didn't approve that, but it was swiped or swept under something. This past council meeting that he didn't attend, our draft agenda had an item on there, CC wrap. If you go back or find it on YouTube and listen to what we're arguing or requesting to table or have removed, there was a Calumet City Calumet City Residents Repair Program. It stopped, and it stopped 2 years ago. We stopped it as a council. We put a limit on it. But now it showed up because you're buying boilers or furnaces or whatever you're paying for. So we had questions for it, and it appeared on the agenda. Well, by the time we got the actual agenda, it wasn't on the agenda anymore. It was in the supplemental packet coded as something else.
Oh, so in other words, things might be being purchased under an old program that's supposed to be discontinued.
Yes.
Right, which is why it's so
scary,
yeah.
because you don't really know what is going
You
on.
don't.
No,
and,
you don't.
and that's one of the reasons why it job duties are job duties, and it shouldn't be about the person. It should be about the job duty. And that's what I was saying. So if you don't like me, it doesn't matter. I do my job. That's what I need to do. And so I believe that some of the city council meetings, city council members may have remained quiet at some time because maybe politically they don't align. You know what I'm saying? We may not align politically. So, okay, allow that. But then what you don't understand is that you're taking away these things, and it's really going to impact you.
Mhm.
Because then you'll end up voting for something, because he'll say in a minute, well, this is what you voted for.
Mhm.
And some of them I don't think that those that support him are aware of everything he do. I do not believe that. I do believe that a lot of it is taken. We do not know what it is, but I think that's why it's so important to have those separate branches of government and those separate elected officials, because it is a check and balance to everything.
Right. Is it so
And
Yeah, Calumet City. Please email me so I can put up your YouTube channel on this live stream. Your city is way worse. So is Harvey. But you see, Tiffany is supervisor, and that's the goal. The township, it's always been the goal. They want the township. Yeah. Didn't she want an audit? Who's running against Jones? Yeah, Tiffany is problem everywhere. If anybody dares or deigns to talk to her or put up something else. Apparently, he got pulled to the side by politicians in the higher up of state of Illinois, and was told to tread softly. Oh. Yeah, I saw a little video. I'll check my mailbox, see if you put in your channel.
yeah,
It
it
is.
is.
So
And that's what
deceptive, 'cause
happens.
It's like, how do you do your job? I just think as a legislator, like, how do you do your job if you don't even know ahead of time what you're voting on? And then even after you vote,
Yeah.
it might be changed.
And
That's
so
just so crazy.
that was one of my posts, and I
Huge.
recirculated one of my lives where I am asking my council to make it stop. Make it stop. And I say, after the last alderman has made their speech, please adjourn. That was during the time that he disabled my emails. In Calumet City, if you call me on my Calumet City phone, so I pay, I was about to pull my phone, I pay to have my own number for my ward, because if you call me, you are not ringing a phone, you are talking into a voicemail that is transcribed and sent to me via email. So if my emails are disabled, I never know you called. And so when he disabled that, not only can I not read an agenda, I cannot look at the supplemental packet, I cannot look at the payroll for first responders or staff. And when I made it a point to say I cannot vote, I do not have the same resources that the men on council. I was told by Ansel and Glink that email is a privilege, not a right.
Oh,
The lawyers told you that?
But I was the only one.
Ansel and Glink. The lawyers. Oh my, oh my. Well, We saw yesterday, was it yesterday, day before, Aldelson, Murphy donated $11,000 to the Jason House campaign. Yes, you did. We showed the proof, the receipts, as everybody likes to call them, on our live stream. $11,000. And then Jason House just writes you a check for $108,000. And you donate $11,000. And I'm going to get that up too. Let me let these ladies continue.
Only person on council, the woman did not have
Wow.
I didn't have
email.
emails
And
either.
she didn't have emails.
So,
So
but mine was had been disabled a long
Yeah.
time before.
That's
And
so
Yeah.
crazy.
And so what he did was
I
printed
don't get it.
300 pages and put it in a little white box and left it, had a police officer leave it on my step. So I'm supposed to read through 300 pages, but not only did you just leave it on my step, that had names, addresses, pay of your police officers, your firefighters.
but that's not even important. Who gave him the right
The right
take
to do that.
away a privilege, even
Yeah.
if it is a privilege?
Right.
Who said that he was the bearer,
Mhm.
giver, or the person who cut
Well, he
off?
said he the CEO of the town, so
But even then, why would a CEO do that? That's
Never
bad
heard of that.
leadership.
Lena!
it's poor leadership.
Why would you cut off the privilege of
Mhm.
if email is a privilege? It's
Yeah.
not a right. If because most people don't know that driving is a privilege.
Mhm.
It's not a right. But if there's a reason when your driving privileges is cut off, they just don't say, you know what, Ryan can't drive no more.
Right. It
Right,
shouldn't be
because
arbitrary.
I'm the
It
Yeah.
should be a system.
yeah, because I'm the Secretary of State and I said so. No, it's because you didn't pass the eye test, you didn't pass
Right.
the written test, you aged out. There is a reason or something tied to that. And so that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what our attorneys are doing. That's exactly why they're not advocating for us, because what it should be is that whether it's a privilege or not, or who even say that, first of all,
Yeah.
she needs her email.
Right, I
And
was
Mayor
gonna
Jones,
say,
you need to
yeah.
restore those emails. And
Yeah.
that's what should actually happen versus, versus, oh, it's a privilege and then I'm gonna print it out. Why are you in my emails? And it's true, the city does own your email. The city does. But why do you get to? I mean, my mouse have literally been moving while I'm in my computer.
I have
So you
opened up an email.
You have access, and I'm watching you move and
Yeah.
disable and move around my stuff.
I have been in an email as it was being deleted.
That's so frustrating.
Yeah, all of my old emails from anything prior to him is gone.
Hmm.
I don't have any emails, and any emails where we were going back and forth and arguing where he thought that he may be in trouble and proof, those emails are gone.
Yeah, Keith Freeman. Nikita Cloud said you were deleting emails, but you're the golden boy now, right? I hope you got a pretty doggone good deal with the FBI. I hope you did.
Yeah, see, that's not right. That's
They're
right. There
deleted.
should be an injunction or something.
Then all of a sudden we had a crash.
Yeah,
on
we
our
had a
server
crash on
crash.
our server.
But that's because, but I mean, I printed out a lot of stuff, and those are the things that I'm talking about. He shouldn't be able to do that. And your brother-in-law is the IT person.
Oh yeah, that's definitely some nepotism.
Mhm.
You know,
Questionable nepotism.
well, not only that, IT. So your brother-in-law gets to do any and everything. So those are the kind of things that we need to be concerned about.
Yeah, no, we hit on almost everything. I think that one of the things that I thought of, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, you mentioned we talked about the budget, the ordinances, the resolutions. No, I guess that's the big stuff. Yeah, you haven't had anybody arrested in your meetings, right?
We've
No,
had
people
a resident escorted out, and then
They was about to put you out.
they were about to put me out. The same offices that I go to bat for to back the blue, anything that they ask for, I make sure that I'm voting affirmatively because they need that. am not a Leo, but I come from Department of Corrections. So
Media.
I understand the importance of having tools and resources that are up to date and trainings and all of that. But I don't, and I never have understood doing what you are told, even when you know it's not right.
Right.
Especially for law enforcement officers, they should tell them.
Have you
They
had
should
police
tell-
brutality issues here in the community?
Recently,
We not well,
Not
was it not
recently? Not
recently, but
recently.
there have been issues here. One of our young men years ago who was on the spectrum for autism, he was killed by, yeah.
At least that's good that you don't have people like routinely harassed by the police. It sounds like.
I
Hopefully not.
I don't believe that we have a police force that wakes up and says they're going to terrorize Calumet City today. I don't believe that at all. I believe that they take care of the community and they take their oath seriously. I believe that in the state and on the federal level, there are some policies that put them in horrible predicaments, because either you follow what the state says or you follow what the president is saying. And I believe that is unfair. But I believe that the best interest is served on the most part for our rank and file. But we still do have people that just do what they're told to do without question. And that's what's scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's an issue, Marty. Well, no, I think that's good, ladies. Unless you think we missed anything, we covered a lot.
We did.
I know that's a
And
long one, so you're definitely gonna have to chop it up.
Thanks again to Nyota and Monet for the informative interview. And remember, everyone, to vote in these elections.
And thank you very much, Ryan. We appreciate that. And please subscribe to Ryan's Gay Chicago. Is he? Yep. That's his link. Let me see if Calumet City, you didn't email me yet. Is it the wrong email? Well, let's just present this so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Friends of Jason House, February 18th, 2025. Alderson, Murphy, Frazier, and McGrath, Ltd. Total donated $11,100. Hey, Big Rick, good to see you. And you wrote a check for $108,000 plus in August 2024. And things are going to be better, right? That things are going to be better. Just get Tiffany out, which she shouldn't be in there anyway. She should have never gotten in there. But no, Mary, Muhammad, Jason, Kiana, the list goes on and on and on. You knew how she was as a trustee for 8 years. No, you want to get on that bandwagon. And you ignore the rest of the Southland. Because Tiffany is the mayor of Dalton. And she's also the supervisor of Thornton Township, in which that is your goal. It has always been your goal. That's why you started in Dalton. And that's why Dalton is so quiet now, isn't it? The focus is on the township. You really do think people are stupid. You really do. And I feel sorry for the people that fall for it. You know, you don't look at the mess. You look at what's behind the mess and who's behind it. But there it is. Why is the trustees' lawyers donating over $11,000 to the Friends of Jason House? And this is public information. Oh, by the way. But I'm going to end it with this. And this is how I make my money, because I don't need you thieving little bastards to try to get me to put up your garbage bullshit. I don't like Tiffany. She should have never got in there. You know? But here we go. My favorite thing to do is make money.
Grab the lead from Duncan Rudd back in second. Now final drop is the two big favorites are second and third. Arrow goes right to final drop is outside. Looking at the fourth party. Some sleeves down toward the inside, racing along in sixth. They just broke it up. It's more back to American Wings. The early treader as they go toward that far turn. Mama's Lullaby, the leader. Mama's Lullaby, first by 2.5 plays. Duncan Rudd in that second position. 1.5 more back to Arrow goes. Final drop is pushed along toward the inside. The fourth party was fifth. Up on the far outside. 2.5 more, then back to Son of a Slew. American Wind is trying to get underway from the back. He's up down seventh. Dropping out last, smoking it up. Duncan Rudd is the leader now. Duncan Rudd takes over the top of the stretch. Arrow goes to fresh challenge on the outside. Fourth party trying to get going down on the inside. Duncan Mama's Lullaby. Final drama still 4 lengths behind Duncan Rudd. Duncan Rudd by the 8 pole. The lead a length and a half. Arrow goes on the outside to clear second. 3 or 4 more back to a lineup of 3. But inside the final 16, Sonny Leone, Duncan Rudd getting away. Duncan Rudd going to win here by 3 in the end. Second Arrow goes. Looked like final drop was close there with Sonny Slew. After that,
$105 in a minute and 11 seconds. I don't have to do dirty. I don't have to lie. But I care about the residents of Dalton and Thornton Township. Vote your conscience. Do what's right. Jason, I hope you win. I truly do. I really hope you win. Because you're not being transparent like you promised. And then all the FOIA problems will go away, right? Right. You need to bet with me, Shanna? Yeah. That's how I make my money. I'm not worried about this channel. This channel is for the residents of Dalton and Thornton Township and anybody that ever gave a shit about them. Not for what they can get out of it. Not to make money off of the residents. Not to spread vile hatred, doxing people. Burgundy bitch. Choose compassion. Not compassion. Why? Teeny tiny little channels. You still can't figure out who the hell I am, dumbasses. Voters, vote for what is right in your soul. Don't listen to the mess from anybody. Listen to yourself. Listen to your soul, and you'll be okay. And there's a lot of us that will stick with you. We're not going away. Far from it. So, we'll be watching on Tuesday, see what happens. And Shanna, if you want to win, I'll show you how to do it. It's really easy. Takes 30 seconds to figure it out. Then the horse runs and, that's it. But that's my passion. It always has been. But now, Illinois seems to be my passion. So I know myself and others are not going to walk away. Yeah, Dalton will be insane on Tuesday. And what is this crowding around upon entry at the library? Is that intimidation? Chanting, praying? And if you weren't so afraid of Tiffany winning, then why did you start this campaign of hatred? Ed Steve, I hope you get in. You little man. I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to swear. Hey, Lola, how are you? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, they're going to blame everything on Tiffany when they get in. They're going to have to take out bonds. Oh, we got to take out. Then they'll start talking about bonds. I've been talking about bonds for how many months? Nobody wants to listen. TK, good to see you. Nobody wants to listen and look. You just want to make money. And that's the way you make money. That's the way you make money. Tell the truth when you're making that money. I make my money honestly and legally. And I can't wait to see who has jobs in Dalton and Thornton Township. And now Calumet City and Harvey. Because we'll be watching and we'll still be producing. Maybe you'll get a donut. You know the name of the horse that 3 was? Duncan in. I'm not kidding you. That's the name of the horse. Duncan in. Duncan something. I thought of Dunkin' Donuts. Okay. Voters, vote your conscience. Make sure. Clean the rest of the house. Yeah. But how big is the house? How big is that house? Yeah. I hope they have a big voter turnout. But they're afraid of Tiffany. And she's not going to jail. She has too many secrets, doesn't she? That's why you always want her to just bow out. Just bow out. That's why you had the fiasco at the caucus. Legal? Yes. Dirty? Absolutely. And what lawyer was standing next to Napoleon Harris. All these little tidbits. But that's going to be it for today, and we are going to rev up for Election Day. Okay, take care. Have a great afternoon. Thank you.